Hello, role-playing people, and in this episode we're taking a look at the Lore of Transfiguration, the Defiler's ability to alter their own appearance or the appearance of those around them, turning a subject into anything from a gorgeous icon of beauty and desire to a hideous, nightmarish creature exhibiting various types of deformities. This lore was developed by the rebels of the House of Deeps because of their need to show themselves to mortals in a way that would facilitate interaction, a form that humanity would be more comfortable seeing, given how the existence of the Oceanites was a very lonely one, removed from humanity, and interacting with the mortals they loved wasn't actually easy to them. This was their means of making sure they got the desired result, even if it meant obfuscating their true forms. The Lore of Longing gave the Defilers insight into human desire and the ability to manipulate that desire. The Lore of Transfiguration, however, allows them to physically embody it, which is super interesting. This is actually one of my favorite lores, and it's quite sad that it could have really used better writing. Well, let's have a look at the evocations. Mimic. This evocation allows the Defiler to assume the exact mannerisms and vocal patterns of a subject, allowing her to disguise herself enough to fool a distant observer. System. This evocation requires the Defiler to have spent at least an hour in close company with the individual she seeks to mimic. Role manipulation plus performance in a resisted roll against another person's perception plus alertness. If you get more successes, the target believes that the Defiler is the person she attempts to mimic. Encountering someone who has never met the mimicked subject succeeds automatically. The effects of this evocation last for a number of turns equal to the character's faith score. There is no illusion at work here. Your character's body actually changes, so other demons may be fooled with this power. Torment. Monstrous demons can mimic the voice and mannerisms of others, but their torment invariably bleeds through the disguise and unsettles any witness, inspiring feelings of discomfort and paranoia. Roll willpower for someone who encounters the disguised demon with a difficulty equal to the Defiler's torment score. If the roll fails, the mortal is so unsettled by the Defiler's presence that she flees. Okay, this evocation has a lot of potential, and I think I like what it does, but I can't be sure it actually works the way I think it works because of really bad and confusing phrasing. So let me give you the mechanics I have used in my games to make this evocation fun. The Defiler's body physically changes for a few turns, right? They assume the form with the corresponding appearance rating, the mannerisms and vocal patterns of whoever it is they are mimicking. They need to be familiar with the person they are imitating to put on a convincing performance to make others believe that they are that person, but encountering someone who has never met the mimicked individual succeeds automatically. A very wise decision. I think it makes a lot of sense. While a Defiler might not have spent any time in the close company of, say, Al Pacino, Danny Trejo, or Whoopi Goldberg, they've probably seen countless movies and interviews with these celebrities and are thus able to imitate their behavior, tone of voice, and physical appearance. Now, what can the character actually do with this power? Well, evading pursuers by getting lost into a crowd of people and coming out looking like someone else entirely is only entry level. Personally, in my demon games, I allow partial mimicry. Maybe a character only wants to change their voice, either to freak somebody out when that observer sees a sweet little old lady talking in the voice of Samuel L. Jackson, or maybe to impersonate someone's loved one over the phone and manipulate that person into revealing sensitive information. Goes without saying, like Vampire the Masquerade's Obfuscate, this power allows rapid shape changing. However, this evocation actually changes the physical body. It is not just a mental effect. So the Defiler's enemies can be framed on audio-video recordings, which is a huge deal. bursts of identity theft, acquiring information through various types of deception, evading pursuers, and fabricating evidence are all things that this evocation can do. But, moving away from illegal activities, the Defiler might impersonate someone's recently departed lover or friend, giving them a chance to say a proper goodbye and helping them deal with grief. Or they might engage in very effective roleplay therapy, because that is a thing. So this power is not without benevolent applications, though certainly at this level, the Defiler can only mimic others. Next dot. Alter appearance. The Defiler can use this evocation to alter cosmetic features of herself or others. She can change eye color, hair color, skin color, and remove scars. System. Roll Charisma plus Subterfuge. The Defiler can alter one cosmetic feature per success rolled. The alterations remain for a number of turns equal to the Defiler's Faith score, or they can be made permanent by the expenditure of one willpower point. Your character must touch a subject if another being is changed. There is no illusion at work here. Your character's body or that of another actually changes, so demons may be fooled with this power. Torment. Monstrous demons can alter the features of themselves or others almost, but unless they maintain strict control, their torment can cause disturbing deformities. When your character performs this evocation successfully, make a willpower roll with a difficulty equal to his torment. If the roll fails, he or his subject suffers a subtle but unsettling deformity. The difficulties of all social rolls increase by 2 due to this deformity. First thing to mention, other characters can be changed using this evocation without any pain, unlike vicissitude, and that is always a plus. The problem here is the description says only color/pigmentation can be changed, and also scars can be removed. Why only color? You can dye your hair, you can wear contacts, and so on. There are many natural ways of changing color, so it seems to me like this is too little. Furthermore, do tattoos count as scars? What about pimples or moles or zits? I can see this power giving the Defiler a lot of advantages if they can just remove unwanted tattoos and various other types of skin marks, we'll just call them that, without any pain. But the limits of this ability are uncertain because it's poorly phrased. As you're about to see, it takes reaching the 5th dot to actually increase the appearance trait, and I don't think any character should reach mastery of a lore simply to increase the appearance stat. I think this power should allow altering the shape of facial features like eyes, brows, lips, nose, and moving down to the body, maybe nails and various marks on the skin, with the mention that altering enough of them, as in scoring enough successes, let's say 5, can increase the appearance attribute by 1, but it cannot go higher than that at this level. Thus, a character needs to take their time when making permanent alterations, but also the result is much more potent, and it allows the player to do more with this evocation. I think the high torment power should have had a fixed difficulty, because low torment demons might want to intentionally inflict a temporary deformity onto someone, maybe to teach them a lesson. And unfortunately, with a difficulty equal to torment, it doesn't really have a lot of chances for success. Next dot. Alter shape. The Defiler can alter his own physical shape and dimensions, increasing or decreasing height, weight, shoulder width, and girth. System. Roll Charisma plus Subterfuge. The Defiler can alter one physical feature per success rolled. Alterations persist for a number of turns equal to the Defiler's Faith score, can be dismissed prematurely, or can be made permanent by the expenditure of 1 willpower point. There is no illusion at work here, your character's body actually changes, so other demons may be fooled with this power. Torment. Monstrous demons are capable of performing the same evocation, but the potential exists for deformities to warp their appearance. When your character performs this evocation successfully, roll willpower against a difficulty equal to his torment. If the roll fails, the Defiler suffers a crippling deformity and loses 1 point from a physical attribute for the duration of the evocation. You choose which attribute is affected. Same issue here as with the previous dot, and I think this one is actually worse because there are no mechanical or narrative consequences to using this power, except for the High Torment version. Why would a character make these alterations to themselves if they don't affect the game in any way? I get this power only affects appearance, and as such, the athletic stat or any physical stats cannot be increased. But why not give the player the chance to at least alter the social dice pools that are based on physical appearance? I mean, I think a massive, thick and tall, broad-shouldered individual has way more chances to be intimidating because of their stature than someone who is hunched over, has a bad posture, and whose appearance betrays that they don't really work out and are super out of shape. Depending on the observer's preferences, altering your protagonist's height and weight should definitely increase or decrease the appearance trait, at least by 1 dot. As written, I think this power just doesn't really do anything, and it can't be used on others, so that limits potential uses even further. The way I'd make this work is to allow these alterations to bestow a maximum +1 to appearance, which can also be used on other characters and can be used in conjunction with the previous evocation. For a total maximum +2 to appearance, each application rolled separately, of course. I think it makes a lot of sense because if a player takes their time altering various facial/cosmetic features and alters their character's physical build, spending 1 willpower point for each evocation to make the changes permanent, I think those changes should bestow some kind of stat bonus. To do otherwise is to create a tear between narration and mechanics, which might lead to inconsistencies and confusion further down the line, as this power just says things happen, but doesn't make things happen. It doesn't quantify the result. So I think both the second and the third evocation could have been designed and written a lot better, and that is why I have taken the liberty of altering the way they work in my demon games. Next dot. Doppelganger. This evocation allows the Defiler to alter her appearance completely based on the expectations of her victim. She assumes the form of the person that the victim expects or wants to see. System. Spend 1 point of faith and roll manipulation plus empathy. The roll is resisted by the target's willpower, difficulty 8. If your roll succeeds, your character assumes the physical form, voice, and mannerisms of a person whom the victim expects to see within the context of the scene. If you wish, your demon can dig deeper into the victim's memories and assume the form of a specific individual for whom that victim has strong feelings, but doing so increases the difficulty of your roll to 8. If your character attempts to use this evocation on a group of individuals, assuming a form that all of them might expect to see in a given situation, the difficulty increases to 9. The effects of this evocation last for a number of turns equal to your character's faith score unless terminated prematurely. There is no illusion at work here, your character's body actually changes, so other demons may be fooled with this power. Same text as before. Torment. When monstrous defilers perform this evocation, the result is a dark, sinister version of the victim's expectations. The difficulties of all social roles to manipulate the subject decrease by 2, as any inappropriate feelings or urges that the onlooker has towards the demon may be indulged. This is absolutely fantastic, and the evocation is very playful with the players and the storyteller. It already works beautifully as written, both narratively and mechanically, and it allows the player to get really creative roleplay wise with the representations of archetypal figures that are present in most people's lives or memories or fantasies. The mother, the father, the girl next door, your first crush, the kind merchant from that store down the street, the alluring, mysterious stranger, the powerful rich womanizer that women want and men want to be like, the scared child who is seemingly lost and wants his parents. Oh, the possibilities are as many as there are NPCs, and the Defiler can get under their skin easily. My only issue here is the duration. Again, I think one scene would have made players more comfortable when using this power, knowing that their carriage won't unexpectedly turn back into a pumpkin within a few turns, but hey, it works even so, and it is a lot of fun to use as the player toggles through all these different personas and behaviors. I love this evocation, it is so much fun. Final dot. Shape change. This evocation gives the Defiler complete mastery over the physical features of herself or others. She can transform herself or someone else into the apex of human beauty. She can also condemn those who displease her to a nightmare of twisted flesh. System. Spend 1 faith point and roll intelligence plus medicine. Your character must touch a subject. A resisted willpower roll, difficulty 8, is made for a target who refuses the change. If your roll succeeds, your character can alter her or another's physical appearance to anything she wishes. If she wants to alter another person's appearance to meet their own specific desires as opposed to a willing subject's, the difficulty increases to 7. The appearance attribute is increased or decreased by 1 per success achieved on your roll, within the limits of 5 and 0 for a mortal. Your character's or subject's other attributes and abilities remain the same no matter what shape is assumed. The effects of this evocation last for a number of turns equal to your Defiler's faith score, or they can be made permanent by expending 1 temporary willpower point. There is no illusion at work here, the body actually changes so other demons may be full of this power. Torment. Monstrous demons must exercise careful control when performing this evocation, or they risk creating a reflection of their torment instead. If the evocation is performed successfully, make a willpower roll with the difficulty equal to your character's torment. If the roll fails, the subject assumes the form of a hideous monster. Mortals who witness this nightmarish figure flee in terror. Without a successful willpower roll, difficulty 8. If a willpower roll botches, the victim suffers a temporary derangement. First of all, let me say I really like the idea behind the high torment version of this power. I think being able to turn into this hideous monstrous figure and back to normal within a few turns can lead to some very interesting scenes and results, but I would not spend a faith point only for this effect, especially since the roll is resisted by willpower. High torment evocations should pack a serious punch. Otherwise, yeah, being able to alter the appearance of anyone by removing or adding a dot of appearance per success is very reasonable. But where this power shines the most is in the hands of the storyteller, I feel. The tormented Defiler can create an entire network of monstrous servants that might not traditionally have a place among the supernaturals of the world of darkness, and the appearance of such servants can be taken from any mythology or culture, even other fictional worlds. Anyone who scorns a Defiler can find themselves exiled from the human world very easily as their appearance is reduced to 0 and they wake up bearing the form of a minotaur, or an urukai, or a snail man, or whatever the storyteller finds interesting and frightening. What's certain is, the Defiler is now a master of physical forms, and as such, they can really go crazy with this, whether their associates are made drop-dead gorgeous or monstrous, or they all look the same and pretend to be the same person. Identity becomes a game at this point for the Defiler or anyone who benefits from the use of this evocation, whether it's to evade legal consequences by assuming a new persona, or simply living out the fantasy of looking like they've only dreamed of. And of course, these modifications can be made permanent, so I think this power is very nice. Let's have a look at the apocalyptic form next. Mametum, the Visage of Transfiguration. The Angels of Transfiguration reveal themselves as luminescent figures devoid of identifying feature or expression, haunting in their silence and deliberate grace. Their entire body is a mirror reflecting the moods and thoughts of those around them, shifting like quicksilver amid a riot of conflicting feelings and expressions. The Visage of Transfiguration confers the following special capabilities. Enhanced Empathy. The difficulty of all empathy rolls decrease by 2. Casts no reflection. The demon's image does not appear in a mirror, nor can it be captured in a photograph or by a video camera. Pass without trace. The difficulties of the character's stealth rolls decrease by 2, and her passage does not disturb the surrounding environment in any way. She leaves no footprints and disturbs no foliage. Improved Dexterity. Add 2 to the character's dexterity. Torment. Angels of Transfiguration who are lost to their torment also lose their luminescence, reflecting their pain and hatred in a series of horrific visions of the abyss. The creature is a walking panorama of tortured spirits, clawing silently at the wall separating them from the physical world. The Visage of Transfiguration confers the following high torment special capabilities. Claws and Teeth. The character manifests claws and fangs that inflict strength +2 aggravated damage. Improved Initiative. Add 2 to the demon's initiative. Venom. The demon's claws and teeth are coated with venom. If the Defiler inflicts at least 1 health level of damage, bashing lethal or aggravated, in an unarmed attack, a stamina roll difficulty 7 is made for the victim every turn thereafter, for a number of turns equal to the Defiler's torment score. If the roll fails, the victim suffers 1 additional health level of lethal damage. Extra Actions. Faith points can be spent to gain extra actions in a turn at the rate of 1 point per action. These actions occur in order of descending initiative, so if a Defiler with an initiative of 7 gains an extra action, she takes her normal action at 7 and her extra action at 6. You must decide to purchase extra actions at the beginning of a turn, before any other actions have been taken. I love the descriptions for the low torment and especially the high torment form. If we just imagine a humanoid shape without any defining features that looks almost like a gateway into a world of atrocity, and from within this shape, from the other side of the gate, a tortured soul is banging against the translucent wall with horrified, wide open eyes, looking as if it's going to jump out of the Defiler's chest prison at any moment. Still, it cannot escape. And then, after the intense rage turns to contempt and acceptance of this failure, the prisoner simply walks backwards, sinking somewhere into the dark vortex that is the inside of the demon, and fades out of sight. Really nice description. We can see that the form features don't really decrease the difficulties of evocations. However, Cast No Reflection as a low torment feature is fantastic for any shapeshifter, rendering surveillance equipment useless against the Defiler. You couple this with Paths Without Trace and improved dexterity, and you have a character who can both shape change, has enhanced empathy, and can efficiently stay out of sight, which is a combination I really like. When it comes to the high torment powers, I think having improved initiative and extra actions works beautifully with the enhanced empathy and the fact that the character's low torment form reflects the emotion of those around them. So it makes sense they would read everyone and act very efficiently in a confrontation. The Venom feature, however, is poorly phrased in my opinion. At the start of a chronicle, characters can only assume one high torment feature, but delivering the venom to a target relies on growing claws and teeth, which, you guessed it, are also a high torment ability. So rules as written, low torment defilers cannot deliver their venom to a target, and they cannot use that form feature. To counter this, let's just say the Defiler exudes the venom constantly and it coats their skin and saliva, but it only works its way into a target's organism through an open wound, so making an attack that deals at least 1 health level of damage after soak is necessary. So there we have it, the Lore of Transfiguration, the ability to take and bestow onto others the shape of humanity's desires and fears. While I love this take on shapeshifting, how it only affects the body aesthetically and not functionally, because affecting function is reserved for the Devourer's lore of flesh, I really think the mechanics could have been written and implemented better. If the successful use of an evocation might have varying mechanical effects that are left up to the storyteller, the game should state it as such. I think the greatest mistake a game designer can make is to invite the player to use a power, a cool power, that just doesn't affect anything mechanically, like the third evocation. Say I rolled 5 successes and my character goes from being 5'3" to being 6'5" and has the physical frame of an athlete, whereas before he was quite a bit hunched over and his shoulders and arms were visibly asymmetrical. I make the effect permanent by spending 1 willpower point. So this might make the character feel more confident. So +1 to social dice pool because they just feel good with their new stature. +1 to appearance in certain instances because some characters might have a preference for that body type. +1 to intimidation as the character towers over others. There are many bonuses this can bestow, but no suggestion or description of successful results is given. We are simply told it just happens, the character alters their shape without any mechanical benefits, as if being able to alter your body weight with a snap of the fingers isn't a very potent and probably very desirable ability. So to conclude, I think this lore is very interesting and some evocations can do a lot. But when it comes to shapeshifting powers, the details really matter. So dots 2 and 3 definitely need a revision, which every storyteller is free to make at their table to make the Lore of Transfiguration more interesting and fun to use for NPCs and player characters alike. Thank you very much for listening. Take care, have fun, and don't forget to play.